Hey, this is Blair Fisher from Blast Ducko. I'm here with Phil from Def Leppard.
Hello there.
We're going to do Rocker's Block. Are you ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
All right, here we go.
21st Century Shalalala Girl.
Wow. What do you remember about that song?
I thought it was great. You know, we had fun. We wanted to push the envelope a little bit. Whenever we do albums, we have a brief. Usually you have a briefing, and that one, what was happening in music at the time, it was Britney Spears. It was like, you know, Backstreet Boys, and there was cool sort of garbage was happening. So you're influenced by the music that's around at the time. No, you know, not so much now. I think after all the record companies kind of finished and the stuff that's coming out now, it doesn't. Everyone just copies it, you know. But back then, you would actually be influenced by stuff, especially if it was actually half decent. Garbage were great, obviously. Butch Vig producing, Nirvana, God knows what, and you know. So we actually would borrow little bits from different bands, and that was one of the first songs that we wrote. Me and Joe got very excited about it. We thought, let's make a glam rock, hard rock, Def Leppard song with elements of like Garbage and well, not so much Backstreet Boys, but you know, on that particular song. Right. So and it straight away all that springs to mind, you know, and I love that song. You know, we overdid the vocals, and it was silly, and it was kind of fun, and it just reminded me of the glam. So me and Joe, you know, we're huge glam fans, and you know, there's a bit of Sweet, bit of T-Rex, and all of that stuff. So yeah, I thought it was great. Right, that's Skin Crawl. That's Man Rays. That was the first song that we wrote in Man Rays.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, and how that came about. My dad was really ill. He had terminal cancer, and I went over to London to stay with him. And we actually had a brilliant time. His last 2 months were great. Me and my dad had just all love. It was all great. But in the meantime, you know, I reconnected with Simon Laffey, who used to be in my old band Girl. He was the bass player. And we just started talking about, you know, it would be great to create a band that was like a mixture of everything from the Sex Pistols to the Police to Nirvana to like all these kind of, you know, dub reggae and just alternative and hard rock and just combine the lot, you know, Nirvana, Linkin Park even, you know. And we literally started, we was talking about it, and we started writing these songs, and that came out. And the really weird thing was, I said, you know, it'd be great if Paul Cook was the drummer on this, and I literally bumped into him in the street like 2 days later. And I said, we've got this, we started to write these songs, and we was just talking about, you hadn't seen him for years, you know. This is in London, obviously. And we started rehearsing, we started getting the vibe together, and it became all of those things, you know, the Man Race. And we're actually going to do another album as well. Well, it's Def Leppard. It's off of, oh God, I think it's the X album.
I have my cheat sheet, hold on. Yep.
Okay, so the X album was, again, you know, you do an album, we done Slang as a, you know, we done the Adrenalize album, and it was clean and clear and everything like that, and the music had changed. Everything, rock music had got Nirvana and Chili Peppers and Stone Temple Pilots. It got a lot harder and grittier, and that sound was really uncool and unpopular. So not that we were trying to jump on something else, but we felt it was just time to do something a bit more raw. So we done Slang, which was very raw. And then, you know, the next album after that I think was Euphoria, and then we done X, which we thought, you know, let's make a pop album. And that was it. That was on there.
Do you remember that song?
I do remember that song, and again, we were kind of influenced by Seal. You know, crazy and kind of just some of those production ideas. And it was great. I mean, and funny enough, this is really weird. The guitar I used on that, because I recorded some of the stuff at my house, I had this chlorine coloured Jackson PC1, and I used it on that song a lot. And we done a Man Rays show, like you know, like all these record company types and that come down, and And my guitar disappeared, it got stolen, and this was whenever that was, you know, this is a while ago.
2002, I think of, yeah.
Anyway, this guitar just resurfaced, and when I was in, we were just doing a Delta Deep tour, East Coast tour, and my friend Brooke said, I've got this guitar, and someone says it's yours. He sent all these photos. I said, yep, that's the one. It disappeared, and it ended up going somewhere else, and he bought it back off of someone. I said, look, he was trying to give it to me. I said, no, I can't let you go and buy my stolen guitar, so off of some shady person, so I let him have it. But yeah, I played it on that song.
Do you remember the name of the song?
No.
Okay. You want me to tell you? Should I keep playing it, or do you want to guess it?
I have no idea.
It is Love Don't Lie.
See, I would have never got that.
Okay.
Coming Under Fire. Yeah. Pyromania. You know, so I just joined the band. I knew all the guys before, and I didn't join the band. I actually just came down to help out recording, playing solos. They wanted me to play guitar solos, and then it turned into other stuff. Mutt Lange found out I could sing, so they had me sing on everything. And then I had the most fun on that album because I didn't actually write anything, but he would say, right, play a solo on this. Just have some fun with this song, you know, just go crazy on that. It's like, wow, this is great. And all the really hard work had been done. Steve Clark and Pete Willis had done amazing like rhythm tracks. So for me to just come in as a solo lead guitar player, it was great. And again, you know, I had a different feel and a different style to both those guys. It was a little more aggressive, and even my voice is more aggressive than what they would have been used to. And it kind of, then you got me singing with Joe and doing all these two-part harmonies and stuff, and it really, it kind of just started changing the sound of the band in a good way, I think. You know, it was a different thing. Right, this is Personal Property off of Adrenalize, right? Yeah. That we had I remember in Japan, and we actually was like goofing around backstage, very much like this, in a very crude, old-fashioned version of all this. It was before computers and stuff like that. And the working title of that song was called Black Leather Jacket. For no reason at all. It was just like, I think Joe said, yeah, Black Leather Jacket, and we all, that was it. That was Black Leather Jacket. Then so it became that, and I can remember us goofing around in Japan on the Hysteria tour. Actually, me and Steve, the whole band actually just jam into the groove that ended up being Black Leather Jacket and ultimately Personal Property. Oh wow, cool, my number, great. I've still got the guitar. Obviously, the guitars I used on that was my Gibson Les Paul, my 1976 Les Paul that I got when I borrowed 300 quid off my mum. And actually, and the same guitar I used on Rock to Your Drop and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, that was it. And we recorded that in Morgan Studios, which ended up being Battery, where I went back and played. That was done in the same room as that Def Leppard stuff. Oh, is that right? Yeah, it was like really weird. It was when it was called Morgan Studios back when we done the Girl album. We done Chris Tangeridi as the producer. I came back and it was like, whoa! I remember this place, and I had my same amp, my same 50-watt Marshall. Put it on. You know, these guys have spent months miking the stuff up in Def Leppard, and I just put my 50-watt head on, and literally was playing. Like I'd done the Photograph solo in the same room that I'd done that song and Hollywood Teas and stuff, actually in the same room, which is really weird. And it's the first time I've ever said this. Blood Runs Cold, off of Slang. It's about Steve, you know. It's about losing Steve, and you know, it's just a really sad song, and you know, I finished the most of it, and then I said, you know, obviously Joe was in the same boat as me. You know, we'd lost, you know, a really dear friend, you know, a brother that we loved and everything, and we wrote this song about it, and it just started pouring out, and that was it.
Is that, have you guys ever played that one? Is that a tough one to?
I don't think we've ever played that live. Actually, there's a bunch of songs that we've never played live. What was really interesting when we done Hysteria, Love Bites was such a studio song, and we'd never played it. You know, I'd never even played the song all the way through. It was like, And we do the bridge part here, there's the verse part here.
Right.
Me and Steve done some live guitars on the verse, and they kept, Mutt kept some of that, but then I overdubbed a load of stuff on a Rockman when we went to another studio in Dublin and all of this stuff. So we'd done this song, we'd never played it, and it went to #1 in the Billboard charts, and we're going,
I gotta play it. Yeah, right.
I remember rehearsing, we had to take 2 days off in Canada, in Vancouver, to try and play this other song, Love Bites, and just singing Love Bites, and then playing the lead part. It was like, oh my God, I can't do this. And there's like 4 or 5 guitar parts going off in the bridge section.
Right.
And there's like, you have to go, okay, if we mix it up, and it kind of sounds like you're hearing this with 2 guitars.
Right.
So we done that. That would probably be a struggle, because I do this big vocal solo in the middle. It's like a bit like the Pink Floyd, the girl screaming thing. I remember I'd done that, and I actually done that as a guide vocal. I said, well, we need a woman to come in and actually, really, like Debbie Blackwell Cook would be brilliant to do that.
Right.
But we done it, and I'd done this guide vocal, and we ended up keeping it.
Okay.
It was like, so that's me doing a black woman.